Hello and welcome to the Siebel CRM Update 22.12 Highlights Overview. My name is Alexander Hansal with Blacksheep IT Consulting. I'm happy that you can join me for this little overview. So in December 2022, Oracle delivered two official new features. The first is for the REST API. You can now use existing integration objects for generated outbound REST services. And in order management, we have quite a big one, as basically there's a new view where you can configure multiple customizable products in parallel. There's also an update in Bookshelf, not just for the new features that we mentioned, but in Security Guide you find several new topics regarding OAuth authentication for inbound and outbound REST API. So let's get into a little bit of detail on the first new feature. For the outbound REST API, you can now reuse integration objects. So what does that mean exactly? That means that when you import a OpenAPI 2 or 3 JSON file and the wizard generates the business service, the proxy business service, it also generates integration objects. And those integration objects could actually match exactly existing integration objects that you have already defined for several purposes, such as Siebel to Siebel integration, or any integration that uses existing integration objects, such as SOAP services or ASIs, application services interfaces, etc. So the problem prior to 22.12 was that the output of the outbound proxy business service was actually the structure already, but it was a different integration object. So you had to use, for example, data map to map it back to the original integration object. So to put a long story short, in 22.12 and higher, you can, after the wizard has finished generating the outbound proxy business service, you can go to the business service method arguments and replace the generated integration objects with pre-existing integration objects. Basically saving time, eliminate the need to map the data, and save a lot of time. So that's quite a nice one to have. The other feature introduced in 22.12 is in the order management realm. And that is quite an impressive one, as the official title is Configure Multiple Customizable Products. First and foremost, you need to run the repository upgrade to get this feature, as it introduces a lot of new workflows, updates to workflows. The same is true for business components, views, applets, etc. At the core of this is a new view supported by all the new workflows and BCs and applets that now allows the user to work with any amount of customizable products. It might be line items in a quote or order at the same time, literally providing parallel editing without switching between customizable product interfaces, like going back and going into customize again. So there's a new button on, for example, the quote header or order header applet called build. When you have multiple customizable products or promotions in the quote or order line items, this view opens automatically and uses an Explorer style applet to allow the user to navigate the customizable products, and the UI is shown. So big time saver there. And you can also multi-select line items that are customizable. And when you click the customize or modify button, that view will also open. So it's quite a big one. Repository upgrade is required, makes a lot of changes to standard objects. So make sure you analyze and understand the changes that occur, especially if you have customized a lot of these standard objects. Another thing that might pop up during your update to a higher version of Siebel CRM, like 22.12, is that something happens to the security profile, the gateway security profile, that is, visible in SMC. That's the one you set in the bootstrap step number 2. And I've been teaching this for quite a long time. It's a personal pet peeve to never forget that once you set up your enterprise, finish the bootstrap, go to SMC settings and set up those gateway safe mode credentials. Don't forget that. Make it part of your checklists. So once you have set those safe mode credentials, you can use the safemode.html URL for SMC and log in with those, well, safe mode credentials. And then you are able to replace or regenerate basically the gateway security profile using the simple user interface, and you don't have to go through any trouble. So just as a gentle reminder, stay safe and set those safe mode credentials. So how do you get to the latest Siebel 22 or even 23 goodness? So keep in mind we are saying 22 plus here. 22 plus means literally anything current at the time of this recording, or at the time you're watching it, it might be 2023. And of course this applies to any future version, well, until Oracle changes it. But for now, the mandatory steps to do an update for your existing Siebel IP 17 or higher environment is take a backup, run the modular deployment engine or MDE, which puts down the binaries and runs the post-install database update if you wanted to, or you run it manually. You have to run the post-install database update. It's completely mandatory. And then there are optional steps. The biggest optional step is a repository upgrade. Then you might have to follow some config instructions in the release notes, changing your DR repository. Then there are known issues or administrative changes. So to put this in a diagram, the DR or development environment update starts with a complete backup of your environment database, bring down the environment, run the MDE on all machines, and on the first Siebel server you run usually post-install database update to apply the post-installation database updates. You run the repository upgrade if it's necessary to do so. You apply configuration instruction if that's necessary, and you have to test and deliver those repository changes. Then follow the administrative changes like changing parameters, changing implementations of interfaces, etc. And then you're done with your development environment. The test and production or RR environments are a bit simpler to update, so still you have to take a complete backup, bring down the environment, run the MDE, make sure post-install database update runs against the database, and then if you had applied any repository changes, you use the migration application to do an incremental or full migration, including the seed changes from DR to RR, which is then followed by applying any administrative changes if there are any. So compared to an upgrade, which you see on the lower portion of your screen, an update from IP17 or higher to the current 22 plus or Siebel 23 plus, 23 plus release is measured in just a few days, whereas an upgrade or incremental repository merge, which is the high-speed version from a prior version, IP16 and earlier, takes months or sometimes years. And what if you want to learn all about Siebel 23 or how to upgrade, how to update? It's easy as 1, 2, 3 to get ready for Siebel 23 with the Siebel Hub Learning Experience. So the Siebel Hub ensures we have the only always up-to-date Siebel curriculum on the market with 15 courses with a total of over 100 modules. You can pick and choose for tailored or customized learning paths. We provide live training with expert instructors, self-paced video training with expert instructors, and also instructor-led coaching if you wish. So go to siebelhub.com for more information. And the Siebel 23 workshop is brand new. Stay tuned for more information and will be chock full with modules on any topic that is touched in modern Siebel versions, such as architecture, installation, updates, diagnostics, Zookeeper, containerization, data visualization, mobile applications, and so forth. What if the video you're purchasing on the Siebel Hub Learning Experience has been recorded in 22.2? What is that video training already outdated? No, it is not. With the continuous learning experience, the Siebel Hub ensures that you stay up to date with all monthly updates in the future. That includes videos on YouTube and a continuous update page there where you can find all the relevant updates that were made since your video was recorded. So go to siebelhub.com and start learning today. Thanks much for watching. Take care and bye-bye.